Hi darlings, thank you so much for joining me today on my YouTube channel. I have a Bible journaling process for you. I'm going to be using some acrylic paints. I have satin jade, pink frosting, satin teal. These are the handmade modern acrylic paints from Target. So I have these three colors that I'm going to use. Some leftover tabs from the Illustrated Print and Pray shop. This number stencil. Probably use some word fetty as well. I am going to be using some stamps from this. This is the 2020 Vision Kit from the beginning of the year. I'm going to be using some stamps from this. The Top Knots in Jesus Alpha. And I'm going to be using some of the Print and Pray pieces from Kelly Bang's new set, Honk for Jesus. It's a really cute set. I loved the little cars, and I am going to put together a page and you'll see how it comes along. First of all, I just want to shout out Kelly because she made the cutest set. It's full of little cars, and there's like vintage cars and newer cars, and there's another sheet that has bumper stickers that all have cute Christian quotes, and then there's another one that has license plates. So I think that would be really cute to do like a wall mural with that. So what I am planning on doing here, I wanted to use my Illustrated Faith Bible because I really wanted to create like a big statement type of page. And I am going to be basically swapping dots of these colors, basically creating 3 places on my Bible where I'm going to add some color. I am journaling in John chapter 14, verses 6 through 8. And it reads, Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really knew me, you would know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. And I was focusing on this because as soon as I saw those cars, she has these verses that correlate with her principle. But as soon as I saw the cars, it reminded me of the way. And I don't know why, but that's where the Spirit led me. There is only one way to heaven. And I know that we hear this all the time through the gospel, but I feel like in these last days, in this time period, it's very important that we are preaching Jesus. He is the one way that we should be going. There's so many different paths and so many different detours, but we have to stay focused on where we are going, which is to heaven, to be with our Heavenly Father forever. And the only way we can get there is through Jesus. So I wanted to make a page where I was making a bold statement that I am going one way. And this is a message that we should be preaching very loudly now, especially now when everybody is in troubled times. They should know that Jesus is the way to do it. So I did swaps of color throughout the page. Now you're going to see me. I'm drying those off. And now I'm going to try to see where I'm going to put my cars. So I want them to kind of overlap. So it looks like they're in a line. But I wanted to make that go a little bit across the page right next to the verse. So I'm going to take the time with my mound liner to make sure I am blocking out my verse because I don't want to cover it up. The actual verse that I am journaling in is the most important part of this page, of course. So I want to make sure that I am blocking that out so I do not put any paint or anything over that. And so I kind of get a feel for how the cards are going to go. And then I'm like, I can add a little bit more paint. And this is really hard because I tend to go overboard with color or overboard when I feel like I can see something. I kind of go overboard. So I was kind of restrictive the first time. And then I was like, I'm going to add more color. So adding more color, adding more of that beautiful purple. It's frosted pink, but it's more of like a pink purple, like a really light fuchsia, I want to say. Adding more of that teal and more of that jade color. And these colors just blend so well. Kelly did a really good job with the colors in this kit. And I just love the pop of color that they give. And so drying those off again, making sure that they're all nice and dry, which is key to make sure that I don't have any pieces basically sliding off my page, or any paint sliding onto, and I see my hands are all dirty. So I go and wash my hands and come back, and now I'm going to add these on. Now, because the colors in the background are there, I want to pop up these pieces. I printed them on cardstock. That way I can have them pop out more. The color prints beautifully on cardstock. And so I'm going to have them popped up. So I grab some pop-up dots, and I'm going to start with the one all the way in the back first, because I'm kind of making like a car line. So I make sure I get those pop dots on there. And then I'm going to do that one first. And then I realized, oh, no, the blue needs to go on top. So then when I do this next car, I need to make sure that I'm only popping up 3 sides, because that other side are going to lay on top of the car before it. I hope I'm making sense. So you're going to see me try to hold it in the same position so I can remember exactly in what places I need to put those pop dots in. And then lastly, I'm going to do this yellow mustard car. And I realized that I ran out of pop darts. But if you are as frugal as I am, we know that you can use the side foams and just cut it to size, take off that paper, and use those stickers, girl. Do not throw anything away that is valuable. So, frugal Bible journaling tip for you. So I go ahead and I add these 3 cars. I love how they line up, kind of looking like they're in line. And then I'm going to use the Top Knots Alpha for my title. I love this alpha. But because it's so big, instead of putting all the words across my acrylic block, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp them one by one. Now, yes, it's not as efficient and it does take longer, but it's going to be better, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of overlap the letters a little bit, so I'm not taking up all of the page with the words. It's a very short title, but I don't want to, as much as I do go out of the margin a little bit, I don't want to cover up all of the wording, and I don't want to go too much out of the margin. So I go ahead and stamp each letter one by one. And I actually love the feel, because I get to align them in a little wacky way where they're going up and down. So I loved how that turned out. So just making sure that I don't rock the stamp, that I just press firmly. And rocking the stamp will cause sometimes your page to shift or move. So I try not to rock the stamp, but just to press firmly. And you'll see why in a little bit. So my title is Going One Way. As I said, I wanted to make a big statement about I am going one way with Jesus, and He is the way. So as long as we are following Jesus, we are following His teachings, we are focusing on Jesus, we have nothing to worry about, because we are on the right path. You know, many times we have all these big life decisions, and I just try to stop in the midst of the mess and say, does this lead me towards Jesus? Is this taking me along the path that leads me to Jesus? And that is sometimes the simplest but the hardest way to make decisions. So you see, when I stamped this W, I kind of rocked it a little bit. So accidentally, you'll see that at the top, it's kind of moved a little. And I'll just fill that in with my pen. And then I wasn't sure where I wanted to put my dots, but there was a little space in between the word text. So I decided to go for it and put those there. I am also going to use this plus sign that was already in the stamp set. I was going to use the one from the Vision 2021, but since this was already on this set and it seemed perfect, I went ahead and used this one instead, stamping it in 3 different places. I really wanted to bring in that black because I only have black in the tires and in that big bold title. I wanted to bring in the black a little bit. You'll also see that I used a smaller date stamp instead of the number stencil that I was going to use my stamp, my date to document for. I went with the smaller one because I already had a lot going on in this page, and sometimes less is more. I also printed out these little, they're little word fetties, and they say beep beep. You can't see them because they're so small, but hopefully in the close-up pictures in the end you'll be able to see those as well. And I thought they were so cute, and another element of adding 3 and also black to this page. I am going to go through my Illustrated Faith word fetty. This is my favorite word fetty, and I can't find any of this anywhere else. So if you know somebody that has it and is willing to sell it, you want to sell yours, call me, message me. I will buy it from you. I love this word fetty. And you'll see that I had to cut it up because one sentiment said Jesus is, and the other one says follow your. Well, I cut that up so I can put together follow Jesus, because in essence, that's all what this page is about. And so I wave to you goodbye, and here is a close up. Thank you so much for joining me. I love that you guys support me so much. Have a wonderful day. God bless.